Hello everyone, welcome to the coverage of the 2021 Forsyth Decatur Open. I'm your host Garry Patton.
And I'm your host George Andrae.
And we're here to bring you some sick disc golf coverage at a new A tier in Central Illinois. Today on the card we have Cameron Messerschmidt, Matt Dollar, Garry Patton, and Danny Beauchamp. So yeah, this tournament just got bumped up from a B tier. The city of Forsyth is very perceptive to disc golf and has been pushing it in their area.
Yeah, Forsyth's definitely looking at growing this tournament moving forward, as well as Decatur. So the support from the communities is only growing for this tournament. So great to see the action.
Yeah, and this is presented by Plastic Addicts as well. So hole one here, as you saw the drone fly over, it's a downhill shot. The forehand is the preferred play for the right-hand player. And up the middle mainly just gets you a look at the two.
You can get a roller down if you kind of go up the middle, but it's kind of a hard angle to hit with that tree over to the left. You can see that he is opting for the forehand, kind of the smart play here. Just kind of get up and down to start your tournament.
Yeah, I think the forehand is a better play for sure. See, he hangs it out nice and wide.
Ace on the first hole.
There it is. As I just heard Matt say in the background, someone aced the first hole. Alright, so Matt's actually electing for the roller, if I remember correctly. So yeah, if you get the roller down quick enough, you can actually get a nice look at it too. So he's out in that like 45 foot range, maybe a little further. And here's myself. I'm also being a weirdo, not throwing a forehand.
What are you throwing here?
I'm throwing a Tesla. I'm throwing a Tesla. Turned it over a little bit too much there. If I remember correctly, this whole week it's like 100 degrees and very humid. It was hard to hold onto the disc. And next we have Plastic Addicts' own Danny Beauchamp. Let it go a little bit. He held onto it for a little bit there, too long, but you know, that's the mistake to make on the hole.
Garry running the jump putt here. Just a little short. Get up and down.
Yeah, just a first hole layup. Here we have Cameron, who's a fantastic Circle 2 putter. Putting world champion, actually.
Gotta be careful not to go too long here on the upshot jump putt. Go into the woods. It's gonna be hard to make your comebacker.
Yeah, we're all, first hole. Don't want to make any mistakes that are detrimental to the round. Matt gave that a pretty solid run, just a little bit to the left. Looks like did we miss Danny's upshot there?
I think so.
But Danny just laid it up there. So yeah, this course is beautiful. The neighborhood it's in is just fabulous, full of nice houses. It's just, you get a very nice, friendly atmosphere, good vibe from the course.
Yeah, this course is a good mix of open shots and wooded shots. Kind of takes every single shot into play. Got to be able to manage the long par fours.
All right, now here we are on hole 2 at 291. The creek to the right is OB, and the sidewalk coming in there to the left is also OB. Nothing to worry about long. You see that banner back there. It's fair game back there. So everyone took a par on hole 1. Hole 1 actually averaged 3.06 for the first round, only with 2 birdies. So Cameron's probably throwing some sort of mid here. Just trying to avoid the water and land a little short of the path, leaving himself with a putt.
And you can see they moved the tee pad back from past years. This is a new long tee pad for hole 2.
Yeah, it's something I kind of forgot to mention as well. If you've played Forsyth before, you've noticed that you're going to see several new tee pads. Ethan Simmons, along with James Taylor and some other local people to Decatur, did some course altering to make it a little more suitable for pro events or bigger events in general. Here's Matt. I think he was throwing some type of putter here. That was a fortunate kick off those trees.
Yeah, for that right-hand backhand out over the water, you really got to get it wide and get it around that tree, get all the way up to the pin. You can kind of see that both Cam and Matt both kind of left their shot short.
Yeah, I let it fall out of my hand too. I'm throwing a putter as well. Again, it seems like we're all in that mindset where you don't really want to lose the tournament early. Just trying to figured out. There, Danny put some more air on it. That looks like a better shot.
Got right underneath that branch, stayed
Yep.
in bounds.
Sat form nicely. All right, here's Dollar. Another jump putt to keep him going here. I think he's roughly 60 feet. Oh, just off the top. That was a good run. And I'm probably sitting somewhere about 45 to 50 feet also. I left it a little low. The branch just kind of keeps you honest and doesn't let you put it too high. As you see, we're all kind of hanging out in the same area. Cam's been known to smash a lot of these. Oh, just a touch short. All right, Danny to save the group's pride and get a birdie. Good focus, spins it right in there.
Nice putt by Danny. Get the first birdie of the tournament for lead card.
As you could imagine, this hole is averaging under par at 2.71. As everyone just cleans up here. As you can see, he just focuses on the short putt there. That's something to take note of. Alright, so hole 3, 286. Two options on this hole, similar to hole 1, but I think the inside gap on this hole would be a little more, higher percentage rather. So you're going to throw a pop-up forehand down the middle, or you can throw a hyzer around the outside on the tighter gap as well. I wouldn't say this one feels like as much of a must-get as hole 2, because it's a little more technical, but see Danny going to the forehand. He pops it right down the middle there with something overstable. Looks maybe like he's about the same distance as the first hole, or the last hole rather, leaving himself about 20 feet. Cameron's going to opt for the same line. Looks like he left that a little bit low. Yep, just turned over a touch. Looks like Matt's yielding to hole 4. Yep, someone made a putt over there. Matt just left it a little inside. So yeah, if Matt's opting for a forehand, I'm pretty sure that tells you that the hole is forehand oriented.
A little high off the branch, kind of kicks Garry down here.
Yeah, and
Missed it slightly.
Once again, we're in that 50-foot range.
Matt with a little Anheuser up shot, not really giving it a run, just trying to put himself close, knowing he's out of position.
Yeah. Eventually, I feel like Cam's going to put one of these in. Oh,
very close. Cut nose up angle, cut right on top of it there.
he caught every piece of the basket. Third tries a charm.
There you go, Garry. Gotta feel good to get that first jump putt in.
Yeah, it did, for sure. I'd like to have shorter putts, but you know. Danny for his second 2 in a row.
Cans it.
Yeah. It's a fantastic start to go 2 for 3. I'd say out of these first 4 holes, you pretty much want to birdie at least 2 of them. The precision cleanup from Cam there. Alright, so hole 4, downhill, 278, probably plays more like 250. You're trying to avoid the path long, and it's another little forehand.
Yeah, really tight angle to have to take the backhand here if you feel like you need to take it, not have to throw the forehand out wide. Definitely another forehand hole.
Yeah, they've recently cut some of the limbs so you can actually push it a little bit more, but
Just got to pay attention with your angle and not skip too far long and go OB long.
yeah, I agree. And I feel like Danny's shot there took a pretty friendly skip. Those usually flare to the right really hard.
Garry making the correction, throwing it out a little wider, knowing he's going to get that skip back right.
Yeah. You'd like this hole to be like clockwork. You can see Danny in the background fanning himself off.
This camera angle doesn't really do the elevation change justice here either. You're really looking down at the basket, as you can kind of see there from Matt.
There we go. Matt had the backhand.
Yeah.
Slid it up there within the circle.
With the backhand, you can't ask for much more.
No. See if Danny can go 3 in a row here. It's just outside the circle. Oh, so close. All right, here's Matt from about 25, picking up the first birdie of the round for him. Good putt.
Garry cleaning up his 2.
Yeah, I didn't want to think about that one too much. Just throw it in there.
And Cam doing the same.
Yeah, 3 birdies on that hole. It's kind of what you expect. I think that one averaged pretty far, 2.41, so pretty far under par.
The Bloomington Normal Disc Golf Club has one primary purpose: to support, advance the sport of disc golf in Central Illinois. We promote a friendly and welcoming environment for all players. Our club is active in the community and takes pride in helping others learn about disc golf and beautifying our course. Whether it is a casual or a competitive round, Bloomington Normal Disc Golf Club encourages professionalism and simply having fun. Next time you're near Bloomington Normal, come check us out.
And thank you to the Bloomington Normal Disc Golf Club for that nice little sponsorship ad there. Great people.
Yeah, great people.
All right, so hole 5, this is actually a change from the previous pin position. Right here would be approximately 150 feet right of the other pin that we normally play.
Off the tee, you can kind of play a traditional straight shot over the creek here, or you can kind of go for this little sidearm forehand Annie shot that Cam elects.
Yeah, so this is, it's just very interesting. They're filming it as we're going to the right. Typically how this hole used to play and how people will traditionally play it is off the camera to the left across the creek. So we're all just trying to lay up somewhere to give ourselves a look at the basket. I guess technically I was trying to throw a hyzer across the basket, or across the creek. But Danny there elects for the original gap. Just throws it straight across, leaving himself with a pretty straight up shot to the basket. That was a great shot.
Yeah, off that tee, if you're going to take the straight shot, you definitely want to make sure you're getting over with no problem. You're getting up that hill. If you leave yourself short and barely get over, like Garry, you've got a little bit of work left. It's not going to be a super open upshot. There's some overhanging branches there.
Yeah, and you're kind of flipping a coin if you have a gap or not. I actually had a pretty good gap. I just clipped a branch similar to Cam there. So where we're at, we're pretty much just submitting to par at that point. He's got a very outside chance, and here's a good implication. Matt's just sort of trying to manufacture something here.
Trying to play the skip.
Yeah,
the circle.
Put it in the edge of the circle. That's a good shot. Now you'll see the benefits of Danny just playing the smart shot here across, and he's going to have just your routine low ceiling sort of tunnel shot to the basket. I'm assuming he's grabbing a mid-range there. Beautifully slid into the circle, so he's looking for another bird. I just juked myself out there. A little too much Annie, but par's fine.
Might have needed to leave the hat off on that one.
Yeah, I think I said something along the lines of if I caught my hat when I practiced like Hamas, maybe I'd putt like him or something. All right, Cam. I think it's his 4th try at circle 2 putt. Oh, just off the cage. He's inches today.
Just leaving it short or leaving it high, kind of up or down. Been right on hitting metal. Just
Yeah, those days are
a little bit off.
they're so frustrating. But the best you can do in that situation is just leave yourself with looks. And there's Matt floating in a very nice putt. I think from about 30 feet.
Yeah, appeared to be circle's edge from behind the tree.
Mm-hmm. Here's Danny to go 3 down. There you go. Nice putt, Danny. All right, as we tap out here, this hole averaged just under par at 3.82. So it looks like a couple bogeys there. Not too bad. All right, so here's a change. We would normally play to the basket to the left. They moved this basket up into the right. There's also a walking path to the right that's OB and a mando. So it really presents with an interesting angle. I'd say the flick is the most popular shot here.
Yeah, you definitely want to throw almost a little Anheuser out through the gap to the left of the mando, as you can see Danny kind of throwing that, leaving it just a hair short, but able to skip up the hill.
Yeah, it was an excellent play. I'll be honest, I could not get comfortable with the shot selection here.
No, I was trying to backhand a mid up the gut, and that tree comes into play on every single shot.
In case you're wondering, that's not what you'd like to do on this hole. Hopefully Cam can correct. That was excellent.
It's not bad.
Gave him probably just inside the circle as well.
Angle that way or angle this way?
Yeah, angle to the mando. So like the mando is the basket.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I left it where you guys could hear that a little bit. So yeah, I was such an awkward angle here. I'm essentially having to play like a putt backwards to go to my right. So it's just a very, very uncomfortable shot.
And there you're asking your card if you got to play your footing to the mando or still to the basket.
So if you see where my feet are, I'm facing the basket. So
Yeah.
I elected a cut roller here, and I be honest, it's one of the best scramble shots I've ever thrown.
Cut roller and hits the pole. Can't ask for much more on a scramble shot like that.
Yeah, so here's Matt from downtown. He's in the 50-foot range, maybe a little further. Yeah, I'd say this is probably 60 feet. That's a beautiful putt.
Just hammers it home.
He's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, Matt out of Georgia was on tour for quite a few years. Took a break during COVID, as a lot of other touring pros did. No, he started a family, and he's just not getting back on tour this year.
Yeah, and they're bringing the baby on the road too. There, Cam gets it.
Should that guy 35 feet?
Good to see Cam finally can one. He's
Yeah,
kind of all over the basket, and that one right there was right middle where you hope it would be.
Dollar just said you put Cam at 35 feet, he's not missing. So he respects the putting game too.
And based upon Danny's putt, if you put him right outside of circle one, he is also going to can it.
Yeah. I believe that'll put Danny at 4 down.
Good start for Debo.
All right, so here for the first time on hole 7, you can see from the previous tee right there in the drone that they moved it downhill and maybe back 70 feet, roughly 50 to 70 feet. So you're just throwing this as hard as you can, essentially, since the uphill is going to make it play a little longer, and there's really no danger unless you throw about a 550-foot tee shot. And there's a good view of the previous tee pad.
Matt trying to get all of that one. Eyes are not a little bit early on him.
Yep, he's throwing one of those new special edition tenacities, if I remember correctly. And Danny's not wasting any time.
Danny electing for the James Conrad run up.
Yeah, nice. He put some air on that one, forced it himself, and almost got the camera guy to turn around. I think the camera guy's sitting about 50 feet short of the pin, if I remember correctly. I assume Cam's ripping on a Destroyer or a Wraith here.
Yeah, it's not 60. I think it's probably. I'd be happy if it was 60. I freaking parked it twice yesterday. I hope I can do it again.
We're arguing about if Cam was 60 feet short or not. He seemed to think he was.
Garry ripping on a panic here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting it to turn over and then slowly let it pan back and just let it glide.
Well, I threw it far enough and turned the camera guy around. I just was a little bit to the right. Alright, so I think we have 2 of us here in like a little awkward pitch-up range, and I think 2 of us might have jump putts. You see Matt's doing like a half and half there. Lays it up, easy par. So now we have Danny from probably about 80 feet, 75 feet. Gave it a half run. Oh my gosh, that was better than a half run. That thing had some really good glide on it.
You can tell out of his hand he thought he had it.
Oh yeah, bro, I don't throw far. I'm more like water
that one.
Dollar said he thought Cam's drive was 40 feet closer.
This hole's definitely a bonus too, but you definitely don't want to take a 4 on this either. So everyone's just kind of seeing how out of position they are and really just trying to get that 3.
Yeah, and the basket's right there in front of you. It's not. There's not necessarily more danger. Your biggest factor in this hole would be wind. Oh! Cam scrapes it in.
Right off the nub. That's good stuff.
Like I said, can't remember. I think I'm like 50 feet pin high or so. I'll tell you what, that's not the comebacker you want in the win, but at least I gave it a good run. Probably sitting like 25 feet or so. I think I was able to spin that in there.
Yep, good comebacker. Appears to be a headwind there. Seems like the wind's starting to pick up here.
Yeah, there was definitely a headwind. Because I believe my first putt had like a left to right tail. Alright, so Danny, Cam, myself. I'm sorry, Cam got the 2. Danny, Matt, myself. I'll take the pars, and Cam takes the box with the 2. So this hole's interesting. It's 254 tunnel shot. These branches come into play here when you want a hyzer. The basket is in a very precarious spot where you have a creek right next to it that pretty much turns it into a peninsula.
This pretty much plays like a little downhill putter backhand that you don't want to go too far right or too far left. Just kind of letting it fade into the green and stay in bounds.
I should have mentioned hole 7 also played slightly over par with only 2 birdies. So you saw the one from Cameron and there was one more. So yeah, this hole really brings into question if you want to run a scary putt or if you want to pretty much accept a 3 and go B by the basket. Or I guess not accept it, more or less put that into play. So Cam parked the other basket, leaving himself with probably a 45 to 60 foot putt. So Matt turns his over and he says, "Cam, I'd like to join you." But he's on the good side of the short basket, so he doesn't have to really deal with it in his putt.
Sit.
Okay, Danny hits a tree early. That's going to leave him with an awkward upshot. He's going to have to decide if he wants to go over the creek and risk it or not.
Yeah, hitting early on this hole really puts you out of position quickly. Scrambling for your 3 does not become easy hitting early like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do the exact same thing as Danny. So, in this situation, he's throwing first, so I'm going to kind of learn something from his shot. I could not believe he threw this over the creek the whole way. That honestly blew my mind.
That's hard to believe.
So here's one thing I don't necessarily advocate. I pretty much saw somebody do something, and I kind of got coaxed into doing it myself.
Oh, and that tree saved Garry.
Oh, it did.
Just had to get right underneath that limb, and you did so, and the tree gave you some love.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'd be OB or not, but still, I'm thankful of the result. So here's Cam. This is a very nervy putt. And he's right off the basket again. Just excellent control on his jump putts.
Yeah, putt that far out, death putt, as you can see the camera guy down there in the creek.
Yeah.
You definitely got to draw metal, otherwise you're probably going to be out of bounds.
So here's Matt from 45. Really taking his time, lining it up. Cashes it, no problem. So Matt was telling me after he made this putt, he went to Cam and he's like, okay, well, if you can putt that and hit the basket, I can do the same thing. So we kind of just, once again, how I fed off Danny throwing over the creek, he fed off Cam trying to run his putt. This would be a great par save from Danny. And he just scrapes it in. Nice save.
Good basket. Yeah, if that was me at the Canyons, I would have spit that round we played together.
All right, so there is hole 7.
They were like going in.
I'm sorry, that was hole 8. So hole 8 averaged at directly even. Looks like slightly more birdies than bogeys, but there was one double to kind of even things back out. So hole 9 is very interesting. It's a tunnel shot. The normal path will be to the right of the drone, right towards the silver basket, and you'll just accept your putt over the road. You can't skip it over there or throw a forehand onto the island. It's a very unique placement where you actually drive around it to leave the parking lot.
I can do the same thing.
Yeah,
And then I got lucky and it went in.
Hey, you just got to make it hit the basket, If you make it hit the middle.
Well, there's Matt's there's his explanation for the putt that he ran. He left that a little high, but it's still penetrating through.
Off this tee, you feel like the majority of the MPO players are trying to make this green off the tee, or you think the majority of them are going to lay up to the short basket and jump putt across?
Well, honestly, I went for it both times, and I was the only person. No, okay, the last round here, 2 people went for it, but it looks like mainly people are just laying up. I was very surprised, and they're accepting that 50-foot putt.
Cam with the grip lock, but the tree was nice enough to kick him back into the fairway.
It looks like Danny's throwing a putter here, or a mid-range. That's beautiful right there. That'll leave him with a, 40 to 60 foot, depending on how far up he's up the fairway. So see, I'm actually throwing a fairway driver here, and I'm going to try to skip it really big, either off the edge of the grass or the road.
Ooh, just a little left. And managed to stay in bounds, it looks like, on the backside of the island.
Yep, I was in bounds. Funny enough, I left myself with the same putt, but way more danger involved than they did, as Cam just skips over the curb there. Let's see if Dollar can float in another one. Got a couple branches to deal with, but looks like he's going to push one right over top. Oh, just a little low. Perfect line, though.
Yeah, out of his hand, just seemed a little low. Didn't quite give it enough juice. He'll be able to clean up his par.
Here's Danny. Perfect line, just a little bit lackluster on the power there, but no harm, no foul. 3 on this hole is fine.
Get up.
Garry just leaving it short there for his birdie too.
Yeah, about an inch low. Cam leaving himself in the situation here where this happens to everybody, where you kind of get, the course gives one to you and then you capitalize, or maybe you don't sometimes, but capitalizing on that instance feels so good. But as they tap out here, this will conclude our front 9. So we have Cameron at 3, Matt at 4, myself at 2, and Debo at 4 down as well. I'm excited to check out the back 9.
Yeah, back 9, a lot more open shots, a lot more aggressive par 4s, and we'll see all the pros let loose. So we will see you over on the back 9 of round 1.
And there's our overall leaderboard too. So you see Danny's right in the mix, Matt's right in the mix. People are out there shredding so far.
See a lot of Illinois guys, Rich Klein, Debo, Zach Finwall.
All right, we'll see you guys in the back 9.